So today we're going to describe about like how to describe a plan or map that is being usually given in the examination. So what's the basics of map to get it score 9 in writing task 1 and what we need to do actually in the basics of that. So it's called the prepositional words that we need to follow in exams for getting 9 bands in writing task 1. So what are the prepositional words that we call that how you can describe each and every single phenomena of this graph to get it your score boosting in your examination, and that are being very important for examiner to have a go through it. So the number one, we need to write in front of. Second, opposite. Third, next to. Fourth, to the left, or right to, or right of. Fifth, besides. Sixth, behind. 7, between. 8, middle of. 9, alongside. 10, go through. So this is called to be the prepositional words that we need to follow in exam. So you guys should know about it, that how we're going to use to structure this task of standard as per international of British Council and IDB examination. So you guys should aware about it, and all of you need to be very vigilant that how we're going to use this all single word that I've just mentioned a seconds ago on the board. This is called prepositional words. And now we're going to discuss about how to use the directions in the examination and what them are being very useful. Let's say in the south. How to describe the direction. For example, the house is located where? Is between, you can say is about the northeast actually. So first is called to be in the south. Second, just south. Third, from west to east. Fourth, on the west. Fifth, in the west side. So how we have to just mention, first we have to just give only the direction, then second we need to use the connectors with just south, which is being quite nearby. Third, from west to east, if something like, for example, there is a railway line in the middle here runs from west to east, we need to use this. Then on the west, if something you have seen constructed on the west, we just need, for example, the school was located on the west of the given map. Then in the west side, something in the west, that on we have to use in the west, in the south, just south, from west to east. So these all are very important to describe your task 1, especially in the pictorial diagram that we are going to write now. So these are all the tips that you need to keep in your mind. Before you're going to start, make sure you have to follow the points of meticulous planning, and it helps you to go in your score as well. So I'm going to start about the task, how we can score 9 in this particular pictorial chart. So you should first make sure aware of these all transactions that we have just mentioned here. So these are called the prepositional words: in front of, opposite, next to the left or right, besides, behind, between, middle, alongside, and go through. And this is called the directions when you choose the words, like for example north to east, south to east, blah blah blah. So all this, how we're going to cope up within a task. First, in the south, just south, from west to east, on the east, in the west side. It's fine. This is the basics actually what we have discussed right now, and I'm gonna start give you an illustration from beginning to end to score 9, and how we can select the different paragraphs while thinking that what we need to write, actually the content part of this diagram. It's fine. Any problem? All right. So first of all, you should go through a diagram that I have enrolled the yellow pages to you guys. So what it intros called to you, the map below shows the changes that have taken the places in the seaside resort of Templeton. So before you're going to rudimentary your task, make sure you have to underline the important words of this diagram, please. There are 4 words are very important. It's called changes, seaside resort. Seaside is being called a resort or a hotel or a place located on the outskirts of the coastline or outskirt of the sea actually. Templeton, and the time period is 1990 to 2005. It means is a period of over a period 15 years. Over, you can use this, or over a 15-year period. Right? 1990 2005. There's a difference, or we have marked the difference of 15 here. So it's called to be an over 15 years period. So what we need to just go through this. First is changes. What the synonym for changes, what you can use in task 1, what we can use. Changes is called transformations. It's called seaside resort. Obviously is a resort located on the outskirt. Outskirt is on the bank of the sea. Templeton is a name of city. So we're going to start now the intro first. How you can boost your score and make it more remarkable introduction of this particular diagram. The map below shows the changes that have taken place in seaside resort of Templeton between 1990 and 2005. So we're going to start with this. See. Instead of maps, we have used the words layout, or you can use pictorial. It says shows, we need to write illustrates. It says that changes, we need to say the remarkable changes. It says that have taken place in the seaside. So have taken is given here. What we need to write instead of the remarkable changes. I've used word occurred instead of taken place. Is a synonym of that. Have taken place. I've used that have occurred. It's called the resort of Templeton. I have written So this is what we need to write here actually. That have occurred. It says in Templeton. I have used just in Templeton. What the city is called to be a part of the Templeton. That I've made the headlines here. The seaside resort, and over a period of 15 years. So this is an introduction of 9 bands that as per the international standards of IELTS examination. So here what we need to add more, we have to find out what exactly the changes have taken place. There are so many changes actually between the period of 15 years in terms of transportation, business sector, residential landscape, so many transactions we have seen. So what the line actually we need to write here, the most noticeable change so this is the ending that we need to write actually, the most noticeable change of replacement between most green areas with several major infrastructure projects. What we have seen, why we have written the most green area? Why? Because listen, here there's so many trees here. Look please, look at the board here. There are number of trees we have seen here. Say the number of trees. So in 2005 all has been converted into the several major infrastructural projects. So this is we call the most noticeable change. You can use this or the most eye-catching feature of replacement between the most green areas. We have called trees to be the most green areas. Or you can use, what else we can use here? It's called more and more instead of most. Green areas with several major infrastructure projects. So whenever you have been you've been handed over a question booklet of pictorial diagram in examination, make sure the last line of the introduction should be as. Should be similar to this. You have to add the most noticeable. For example, you have seen in terms of getting the improvements in medical centers, public transportation. So it's all comes under the categories of several major infrastructural projects. Several obviously is a number of things, is number of things. Major, it's quite a huge project. Infrastructure, about the construction, and projects, it means about the particular things that we have seen in the paragraph, in the given diagram. Any problem? You can ask me question about this. So this is an introduction of 9 bands actually. This is the way we need in the examination. Then you only be able to score excellent in writing. So this is an introduction is being finished. Now we're going to jump to second paragraph where we need to see very precisely what changes that we have seen in both years actually, and between 1990 and 2005. So in the second paragraph, So, first of all, what we need to see in the examination before you're going to commence the second paragraph. What factors are being important to go through, have an eagle eye. Now, first of all, there are various projects actually we have seen here. For example, I can tell you each and everything. We have seen schools, hospital, railway station, we have seen ferry, we have seen factory, supermarket. So these two comes under the business category. It's called the business sectors, right? And these two comes under the transportation. Clear? And the number of houses to here, that becomes taken as an residential sectors or landscapes, included school and hospital. Fine. It's so easy when you're going to make some kind of planning before you're going to start. So everything should be here very nicely, understood very precisely, and everything you're going to very good actually. You have been prescribing them as per every single transaction. So we have just write down all the things that we have observed in the diagram. There is an airport as well here. Say airport. It comes within a transportation. So factory and supermarkets comes with a business sector. Railway station, airport, and ferry with transportation. Houses, schools, and hospitals comes with residential or landscapes, included hospitals and schools. Clear? Any problem? Now, one by one, we need to start. Let's start with, for example, about the factories and supermarkets, or being railway stations, airport, and ferry, houses or schools. So what we need to add in the beginning of the second paragraph? So we are talking about the past. It's 1990, 2005, right? First, we need to describe there were major radical changes to Templeton, or we can add more word, radical changes to transport sector. In the town. We have given the name town to Templeton city. Obviously, Templeton is called to be a town. For example, Patiala is called to be a town. So this is what we need to write here. We are not supposed to write everything including the repetition now. We have to use Templeton instead of we have mentioned here the town. So we're going to start. First, we need to look about the airport actually here. So here, an airport has been built beside the river here. You guys look at, please, I have given you booklet, please. Here the river in the middle, actually. Here, look at the river here. In the middle there is a river. That is, airport is behind. What is called to behind? A back. Behind the river, on the outskirt of Templeton. Outskirt of Templeton means like what it's called to be, outskirt of Templeton. What it called to be? Kinare kinare, you know? It's called to be kinare. Bilkul ode kinare de upara. Dekho, you have to look at here, please. Airport. Outskirt is called to be kinare, you know? So outskirt of Templeton. This entire city is of Templeton, right? So it's called to be this. Has been built beside the river on the outskirts of Templeton. Fine. Now we need to use connector here. Addition to this, now first we have done about the airport, we have done, so we need to remove. Now we come with the ferry. A ferry port was constructed Look, addition to this, a ferry port. They have mentioned only a ferry here. Here, ferry. So ferry, what is called to be ferry port actually? A port or a ferry. A ferry port was constructed on the far east. Here, this is called east. This is called south, north, and west. So east, it's here. When it's come in the corner here, you need to add the far. On the far east coastline is called Samundri line. Sara samundra da pani dekho ure hega. Fine. So we need to add such words here. Was constructed on the far east coastline. Dekho ude naal railway line vi ja rahi hai. Have you seen the railway lines here actually? So what we need to add? Connector with a new railway extension line passing by the port. Here a new railway line say passing ਉਹਦੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਾਲ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ a new railway extension line passing by the port continuing along the coast. ਉਹਦੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ is passing by the port, continuing along the coast. Why I have written the word continuing along the coast? Because it has to follow with the coast. ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਦੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ. Continuing. In development diagram you need to use such words actually. For example, one is here, another one is crossing over, then so it connects to the dash. For example, so it connects to the west of the road. Any other particular the name you have been given in the examination you have to mention. So what do you need in the exam? What transactions here? Look here please. Has been built besides number 1, very important, you making a very key points of that. On the far east with a new passings by the. So these underlined words are being very important, and let me underline with the blue marker as well, so you can be very vigilant actually. This. So this can boost your score. Is an standard of 9 actually, you can get it. Here one more as well on river on the actually. Fine. See here our new railway extension line. Here the railway line in 2005, it was in the half actually. Then after in the 2015 it was extended. See, then I've used the word extension. तो उस करके मैंने उस word ਨੂੰ add किया extension. So this is the second paragraph that about like transport sector, that what changes that we have seen. In transport we have written about an airport, then a ferry port, airport, ferry port, and a railway line. 3 things we have mentioned here. Any problem, you guys? Now we need to begin with third paragraph. So third paragraph we need to talk about furthermore. Now we have already discussed about the railway stations, ferry is all gone. So now we talk about this one. It's called to be, what sector it's called to be? Business. Because factory and supermarket comes under the business. We have to illustrate, we have to prove them what we are going to write and what we have visualized as per the given presentation in the examination. Apan uthe dasna payega ki what we have seen actually, because in the second paragraph we have already mentioned apan ne dasse second paragraph ki we have seen the changes in terms of transportation, because airport, ferry and railway line comes under the category of transport. Now we come here for the business sector, so factory and supermarkets comes under the shadowing of business. So here we need to describe that what we have seen actually. Now we first discuss about the factory here. Here, the factory can be seen in the southeast. This is south, this is east. A factory is located in the middle of, so we have written in the southeast. A factory can be seen in the southeast of the town. Any problem? While where we have seen the supermarket? Where we have seen a supermarket here? Very good. What else we can write here along with the southeast of the town? Apart from southeast in terms of factory, what else we can write it here? In the southeast of the town, what else we can write? What do you think? What else? And while a supermarket has been built over the river and so we have used a connector alongside. Obviously, you can see the supermarket. Where's the supermarket? In the west here. Running alongside a new road. देखो दे नाल बिल्कुल एक नवी रोड भी जा रही है देखो. Running along a new road. Right? Any problem? Now we need to use the connector here, interestingly. Interestingly, now we come to discuss about the residential things. The residential landscapes has also altered. Altered means changed. Particularly on the west side of the town, where large apartment blocks now stand in place of the houses. Here you can see here place for our place, look about, so has been altered particularly on the west side. You can see the houses on the west side here, please see the number of houses here in the entire place, you know. So where the large, what it called to be, ਇਹਦਾ ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹਾਊਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੈਸਟ ਸਾਈਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੈਸਟ ਸਾਈਡ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ, ਔਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਨੇ ਲਾਰਜ ਅਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਬਲਾਕ. ਸੀ ਹੇਅਰ ਲੁੱਕ ਪਲੇਸ ਹੇਅਰ, right? Large apartment blocks now stand in place of houses. Along with this, location of school and hospitals, location of school and hospital remain unchanged during both years. During both years. So this is what we need to write about the entire diagram of standard 9 bends. Along with this, location of school and hospitals, you can see the school, existence of school there and hospital in both here, it's the same. Now, we haven't mentioned one point actually, it's called the P for parking here. You have to look in both ears. One P is here, one P is here. Right? So what we need to do here, the location of school, hospital remain unchanged, included parking space during both years. See, we have taken all the transactions and mentioned to make it of 9 bends. So you have to go through from beginning to end. I give you 2 minutes for this, and you can ask me any question that you would like to pop up in your mind. So these all things we have mentioned one by one. We have to make it 3 paragraphs, 3 transactions we need to use. Houses, schools and hospitals comes with the residential. Factory, and we have seen a supermarkets with a business sector. Ferry, railway station, and it's called to be an airport, should become under the category of transport sector. So this is one that of a 9 bends of development diagram that we have used everything here. Yeah, this is called, see, on the west side of the town, on the southeast of the town. So we have used the different things actually here, now stands in. It's called, it's along with location of hospital. See this point place remain unchanged, including parking space, during both years. So this is actually exact criteria to writing your pictorial diagram of IELTS writing task 1 to get your 9 bends actually. I hope you like this video, and we're gonna follow the writing task 2 probably this week, end of this, or might be the next week. Thank you.